Hello and welcome to Breakfast All Day. Matt here, Christy there, Alonso over there. They are going to talk about Mangrove, which I didn't see. So take it away, you guys.
So yeah, this is part of a 5-film anthology, compilation, miniseries, I don't know what they're calling it, that Steve McQueen has done for Amazon, and we'll be getting one every Friday for 5 weeks. And I've seen 3 of them so far, and they're all amazing. And we start off with one of the strongest of the bunch, which is Mangrove. All of these films are set in the West Indian community of London in the late 60s, early 70s. And this one is about real life incidents that happened in 1968. The Mangrove was a restaurant that catered to the West Indian community. They were continually harassed by white policemen. When they hosted a community demonstration, there were arrests, and the British government tried to push what the Mangrove 9 on, like really major crimes that would have sent them away, which led to a huge court case. And this is everything that the trial of the Chicago 8 does wrong, Mangrove does right.
Chicago 7. There's only 7 of them.
Oh, sorry, Chicago 7.
8,
well, it's supposed to be 8. Anyway.
Wasn't that the dude and 8 other guys?
So Steve McQueen, these movies are such a revelation because, like, we knew that as an artist, he knew how to make audiences suffer. And I say that in a genuine way. This is not that he's a bad filmmaker, but in movies like 12 Years a Slave and Hunger and Shame, like, he puts us through the ringer, and he takes us into the mindset of people who are enduring terrible things or perhaps causing terrible things. And the Small Axe movies seem to represent, in addition to covering like racism and, police violence and a lot of stuff that is super relevant right now, there's real joy to be found here. There is joy in this community and these people, in the food that they prepare and the gathering places and the music they listen to. Lovers Rock, which is next week's, is a sensual delight, and we'll talk about that one next time. But this movie, you think you don't want to see another biopic / courtroom drama, but you want to see this one because he manages to somehow like avoid the usual cliches and do something really exciting and really pressing. Again, this feels like it could be made tomorrow. It is so incredibly relevant. It's got a great cast led by the wonderful Letitia Wright, who, she's from the Black Panther films and, from Russell Davies' Banana. She's just I think an extraordinary actress, and I love this movie so much.
I liked it a lot too. And what's interesting is that on paper, it could have been like a rousing kind of feel good, people rising up and making their voices heard kind of movie, which could have been maudlin and heavy handed and very predictable. But because Steve McQueen is primarily a visual artist, he finds ways into these scenes, which are inspired every time, whether it's where he puts the camera or how he moves the camera or the use of music. Mika Levy did the score for this. And so there is like the thing that she always does where she'll put you on edge with just like noise or just like a dissonance or just like a hum, like a do. Like she'll crank up the tension with something like that. And it's a lot to get your arms around because it's various people with various purposes here who find themselves kind of all inadvertently, accidentally having to work together as a team. I want to point out also how much I love the actor who, hang on, of course, I'm not on that page right now.
Malachi Kirby?
No, Shaun Parks, who plays Frank Critchlow, who is the restaurant owner.
Yes.
And how he has this great evolution because at first, he wants to provide a place where people can enjoy the food they miss from their homeland and, and just make, establish a business in the community. But what he hasn't realized is that right under his nose, it's become hugely important for people as not just a gathering place, but a sense of community and a place to express their increasing frustration with the attacks that they are enduring. His restaurant gets raided over and over and over and over again. And you feel his boiling rage, and how could he not feel that way? And yet he also has to assume this role that he never asked for of being a leader. And so how he balances that is fascinating. I love the long takes here. Long takes either through the protests or there's one scene where Frank, the restaurant owner, and then Malachi Kirby as Dark as How, who's one of the more vocal community activists, they're just sitting at a table. They're just sitting at a table for a really long time with this very like ornate, very, 60s looking wallpaper pattern behind them, and some flyers taped up on the walls for gathering and events planned. You can see some stuff going on in the kitchen in the background, and they're just talking, and it's gripping. There's so much truth to the conversations they're having, the hopes that they are striving toward in trying to establish a life here in London for themselves, the shit they deal with from police. Yeah. It's so well written, and it feels so true.
There's another scene I love that involves Malachi Kirby and Rashenda Sandal playing. They were a couple. They were romantically involved. They're both on trial. They're both dealing with all the stuff that's going down, and they have a baby. And they're at home, and the baby is crying. And Darkus is all like, "I have to prepare my defense," and she's like, "So do I," but there's still this understanding that she's the one who has to drop everything and take care of the kid. And in my review, I said it's a reminder that even in the most progressive political movements, like female activists are very often called upon to do the same work, but metaphorically backward and in heels. There's just a lot of little grace notes like that, like the moments where Letitia Wright's character, who is a Black Panther, I thought that was kind of interesting casting.
Cute. Yeah.
Where you see her doing like the legit work of like community activists and talking about union stuff with like, the Sikh community, or with just these different areas of the working class, and like how they all have these sort of common goals, even though they're all sort of separate units and have separate, communities within the larger scope of London. This is a movie about the political and about the personal, and about the power of being able to gather and having this thing in common, and just sort of the oppression of the, one of my favorite parts is like Letitia Wright says like, "We have to rely on the fairness of the British justice system," and she can't even keep a straight face when she's saying that sentence, and like laughing by the time it gets out of her mouth. It's a wonderful film. And again, I've seen 3 of the 5. These are great. Like, go check out all the Small Axe stuff on Amazon. It's so good.
It's also a courtroom drama, which is something we've seen a million times. And like they managed to make that feel fresh as well, because so many of them end up defending themselves. And like watching Letitia Wright, like walk these police officers, like step by step through what they did that night, and like picking them apart is like pure joy. It's, it's a blast to watch.
Yeah. Like, again, on paper, this all sounds like, but it's all handled so well. This is one of my favorite films of the year. No question.
Oh, great. Okay, cool. Well, I am saying 8.5.
I said 9.5.
Great. So our number is an 8.
No, it's a 9.
I'm sorry, it's a 9. Yeah, that's called math. That's a 9. But I watched Lovers Rock this morning, and it's beautiful. The clothes are amazing, and the music is amazing, and it's totally different.
Yeah,
it's totally different.
Absolutely. Yeah. So we'll be talking about these every week as the new ones drop, but really check them out. You will not be disappointed. Small Axe streaming right now on Amazon. Thank you for watching. Like this video, subscribe to our YouTube channel, check out our social media at BeFastAllDay, Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook, and do pay a visit to our Patreon page at patreon.com/BeFastAllDay. We are recapping The Mandalorian. We're recapping The Queen's Gambit. And because our subscribers picked it in our monthly poll, we'll be reviewing Sean Connery's Oscar-winning turn in Brian De Palma's The Untouchables. So until next time, have a good week. We'll see you then. Bye.
Happy Thanksgiving, guys. See you in a week.
Bye. Have a good holiday. Bye.
Bye.